And we are getting two wildly different accounts of the conditions inside Florida's brand new but already notorious immigrant detention center, Alligator Alcatraz. Democratic lawmakers who toured the facility on Saturday described people essentially packed into cages in vile conditions and yelling for help. But Republicans on that same tour say they saw nothing of the sort, rejecting concerns about the conditions inside.
I have not been there yet, and I doubt a lot of that's factual. I mean, bottom line is, from the day one, I've been doing this job since 1984. Detainees complain about the conditions of detention.
The standards are extremely high. Now, this is a state-run facility at Alligator Alcatraz.
More than 30
but they have
people stuffed into a jail
They have
cell?
a contrast. Well, I've been there, and I've seen these rooms that they are in. I wouldn't call them jail cells. I would call them a facility where they are held and that are secure facilities, but are held to the highest levels of what the federal government requires for detention facilities.
But new reporting from the Miami Herald finds that hundreds of immigrants with no criminal charges in the United States are being held at Alligator Alcatraz, according to records obtained by the newspaper and the Tampa Bay Times. Joining me now, Florida State Democratic Representative Anna Eskamani. She also toured that facility on Saturday. So what did you see and hear while you were there? Does it sound like what you just heard from the Republicans?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Republicans are lying because they know this facility is a dehumanizing and environmentally harmful detention center. The state director of emergency management referred to the cages as cells, which is counter to what Secretary Noem just said. And of course, it's impossible for this environment to be conducive to basic health and well-being when you have 32 men in cages, 8 cages per tent. The temperatures are too high, the bugs are intense, and basic healthcare services are not being met. And I saw that even in what was a scheduled and sanitized tour of this facility.
So were you able to talk to the folks who are being held there? And if so, what did they tell you? That's
a great question. Despite the fact that I requested the opportunity to speak to detainees several days in advance, it was upon our arrival that we were told that we would not speak to any detainee. And obviously, that's incredibly concerning because you really can't get a full picture of any detention facility without talking to the staff and when talking to those who are being detained. And I will tell you that upon arrival, these individuals are wearing orange jumpsuits. They are chained at the hands and legs and chained together, even though hundreds don't have any criminal background whatsoever. And of course, they're being kept in cages that are not meeting basic standards at any level. And this is costing the state of Florida, the people of Florida, nearly $500 million. So what essentially is not just a political stunt, but also a grift, because the contracts are going to friends of Governor Ron DeSantis and donors of the Republican Party of Florida.
So this was a bipartisan visit. And one of your Republican state senator colleagues said the Democrats' rhetoric doesn't match the reality of what he saw. Let me play that.
It's actually a very well-run facility. The idea that the detainees are in there and they're in squalid conditions is just not accurate. I will tell you, I was in one of the areas where I actually laid down in a bed. The bed was actually probably more comfortable than my bed at home. I'm not kidding.
Where's the disconnect here?
Well, maybe his wife makes him sleep on the floor. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that these are bunk beds that are stacked on top of each other, people stacked on top of each other. And the second these doors swung open, you had detainees that were chanting freedom in Spanish, that were sharing their names with us, that were pointing to the water, saying that the water had poisoned them, demanding medical attention. And the families that have contacted us before and after have shared similar stories. And we weren't even allowed to visit the medical facilities. We weren't allowed to tour the facility without being surrounded by private security and staff. And it's incredibly frustrating that Republicans care more about their own political coffers and their own and political ambitions over the health and well-being of individuals that have overwhelmingly contributed to our economy here in Florida through essential fields like construction, tourism, farm workers. And so all I can say is that they're attempting damage control, but there's just no way you can sanitize the realities of this facility.
Florida State Representative Anna Eskamani, thank you. We appreciate you coming on the show.